being the band director here at Wayne Hills, along with many of my colleagues who you get a chance to see tonight. We'd like to welcome you to our Spring Instrumental Expo. For me, this is the most exciting musical night of the year, and there's several different reasons. One and the biggest is the many different talents of our students that you'll see. Some as ensemble members, some seen playing instruments that you've probably never seen them playing before. Some playing in groups that you may not have seen. You'll get a chance to see a percussion ensemble tonight. You'll get a chance to see a saxophone ensemble, a string group, which in our district there's not many of. We're very proud to have with us tonight. Solo performances, and of course our acclaimed concert band, wind ensemble, and symphonic band at the end of the program. But we like tonight for another reason, or I like tonight for another reason. That's because you'll see a lot of adults other than me, which probably makes you happy, working with our students. Whether it's former student teachers, present student teachers, people who just enjoy working with our students, none of them get paid. They work with our students because they enjoy it and because they like sharing their love with our students, which is a great compliment to our students and also a great comment about our students. So we'd like to get started right away. The first ensemble we'd like to present is our percussion ensemble. Sometimes we call it winter percussion because that's when they start rehearsing, although it's spring and they're still playing. They are under the direction of Mr. Michael DeLucia. Many of you remember Mr. DeLucia was a student teacher with us in the fall who stayed on because he likes them. So I'd like to turn the program over to Mr. DeLucia and our percussion ensemble. Ladies and gentlemen, that was one part of a percussion ensemble, but we just saw a limo pull up in front of the school. And I went out quickly because we wanted to see who was parking out there, and it seems we have a celebrity that has come to perform with us tonight. And his name is Rocking Ricky, and he's a fabulous drummer. He's performed with many different groups across America. He studied with Neil Peart. He studied with Gene Krupa, some of the best names there were in drums. And at the last minute, we were able to get him to come perform with us tonight at our percussion ensemble. Mr. Mark Rick was outside just meeting him and talking with him, so I'm sure he'll be walking him in just a second. It's a real thrill for our percussionists to have him here tonight, and for us to get to see such an incredible percussionist. The only thing is, he's a rocker, And you gotta accept that as part of his personality, but I think you'll love seeing him. Guys, any word of him? Did anybody see him outside yet? Anybody? Okay, he'll be here in 1 second. I'm sure you'll know when he's here. I'm sure you recognize him. He is a superbly good-looking man with just a wonderful physique, so I'm sure you'll recognize him when you see him. We'll be back in 1 second.
Man, he's good.
Very interesting. When they first told me they were doing that, I didn't exactly know what to expect, and it was amazing how he was able to make all those sounds with his drums. Doesn't get any better. You might as well laugh. The I'd say I was on a roll right now, but perhaps that would be going too far. As we change groups, I always like to take a couple of seconds to point out things in your program or give you information that might help. The information in your program, the program notes that we give you about the pieces, are to give you a little bit of background, tell you sometimes why we're playing them, why we feel they're important. Also in your program is a list of very important upcoming dates, as well as other information about our student leaders who are very, very important to us. Next, we'd like to move on to our flute ensemble. Our flute ensemble is under the direction of Mr. Puzak. Mr. Puzak is our 6th grade band director in Schuyler Colfax, but also spends a great deal of time working with our marching band and with our woodwinds at the high school. So we'd like to introduce our flute ensemble under the direction of Mr. Puzak. also like to take a second publicly to thank Steve Sullivan and a lot of our students too. We run a program like this. We're shifting from back and forth groups and stands and all kinds of different things, and it takes a legion to run any kind of program like we run. Next, we'd like to give you a special treat, something we in Wayne don't yet get to see a lot of, and that's stringed instruments. There's a group of students that I've been working with on Wednesday afternoons just because they like it and I like it. They'd like to present to you today a piece that I would guarantee you're all familiar with. It's entitled Canon by Johannes Pachelbel. It's actually entitled Canon in D. And it's a piece that has nothing to do with either religious holidays or GE light bulbs, but it's been used so much for both those occasions that people have started to associate with that. We'd like to present our string ensemble. As I said, something we don't get to see that much in Wayne, but hopefully, especially if we keep featuring stringed instruments and keep encouraging stringed instruments, maybe sometime we'll be having a band and orchestra concert before I retire. Next, we'd like to present to you, are you clapping because you want me to retire or because you like the orchestra? I did. No, thank you. It'd be a wonderful idea, and I guess for a lot of you, me retiring would be a wonderful idea too. Next, we'd like to spotlight one of our students, a student that you've seen in almost all of our groups at one time or another playing saxophone. Through our music theory course, I asked him, do you play piano? And he could help me something. He said, well, I play a little bit. And I said, okay, so play me something. And about 3 minutes later, I said, yeah, a little bit. So I invited him this year, being his senior year also, to have a bit of a showcase. We'd like to present Mr. Ethan Goldstein. Amazing, isn't it? And sometimes the amazing talents and abilities of our students would go unnoticed except for a comment like, do you play any piano? sometimes it's interesting talking to our students and being so proud of their incredible talents and accomplishments. They sometimes mix conceit with just realizing they're good. And I don't think there's anything wrong with realizing you're good. While we're making a quick switch, I had gone to the doctor the other day because I hurt my hand, and after the visit he checked out my hand and I said, will I be able to play piano? And he said, oh sure. I said, funny, I couldn't play before. He thought I was just a little too keyed up anyway. We'd like to move on now. A new group started this. You can make donations at the door. Thank you. There. A new group started this year. We had a student teacher with us the first half of the semester, Mr. Nick Stefanacci, who helped us out a great deal. And his main interest and love is the saxophone. And he gave our students a great clinic on woodwind technique when he was first a student teacher with us. Some of the students liked the idea so much they decided to work with him in a group he started, which is our saxophone quartet. Their names are in the program. We're kind of changing the flavor of the program right now with the next two ensembles, but I'll turn it over to Mr. Stefanacci and our saxophone quartet. As we take a second just to transition to our jazz band, I spend a lot of time with your children, so I wanted to take a second to introduce you to mine. The little one is the one who's been being the music critic this evening. But most of that means that she loves it. Whenever she hears music, she starts dancing, and she's a little bit better than I am. But that's Allison and Anthony, if you meet them afterwards, and they're the only two that I have to go home with, even though I have 164 children. 2 of them I have to pay for the college, the rest are yours. While we're bringing our jazz band will be next. I invite you after the concert to take a quick walk back behind the auditorium to what we're calling rehearsal hall now. Thank you, Mrs. Ormsby. And it's the band room that we're using now right behind here. You won't see anything in it because everything's on stage, but it was a great deal of work that most of you put in. Our students, certainly, our district administration, Mr. Margaret, Ms. Weir, worked very, very hard to get us a first-rate rehearsal room, and we're really working towards that. So I invite you, I know the years past, I've come to you and said, can you help us out with this? So please take a second afterwards to go back and see the fruits of your labor. Our jazz band has performed a couple times this year. Again, these students and I meet because we like the idiom, we like the style of music. Would someone make sure I have a stamp, please? And we like to perform a lot of different styles of music. We're only going to be able to present two of them to you tonight because of time constraints. One is a Tower Power tune, the second one called What is Hip, and you will find that they are certainly. And the first one that we'd like to present to you is a swing tune, and it's kind of a combination. If you were alive in 1938, you would have heard. Anybody? Mr. Darmstead? No. Sorry. If you were alive in 1938, you would have heard the Benny Goodman Orchestra, and you would have heard one of the most groundbreaking performances in all of music history, which was when the Benny Goodman Orchestra played in Carnegie Hall in 1938, and they played a tune entitled Sing, Sing, Sing. This tune is based on the same idea, and it's entitled Jericho. again, a completely different taste. One of the most fun things about what I get to do with that is I really don't have to do much. I stand up in front of them, dance a little bit, and remind them of what they already know they're supposed to do. If you give us 10 seconds, we'll switch now to our first concert group, the Wayne Hills High School Concert Band. We won't have an intermission because it hopefully only take just a couple of seconds to get everybody on, and then I'll introduce our next group. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. As I said, we hope to be ready in a couple minutes. And it's one thing that I'd like to compliment you, and I usually do, but I'd like to compliment you again on your children and their ability, or your students, better put, their ability to move and follow direction is really quite wonderful, and chances are they do the exact same thing at home, and we appreciate that a great deal so that we can help them here. We'd like to now feature the Wayne Hills High School Concert Band under my friend and colleague, Mr. Robert Vogt.
Good evening. Tonight we're going to be performing for you 3 selections. First is Forge of Vulcan, depicting a metallurgy or metalsmith shop in ancient Greek and Roman times. Vulcan was a god of metalworking during those times. The second piece is Come Sweet Death by Bach, arguably one of his most emotional pieces that he composed. And finally, a piece the kids love, Song of the Matador, depicting a matador in a bullfight.
that, as your program states, was entitled Commando March. Samuel Barber wrote that. A lot of us discovered that we think that's where John Williams got the Imperial March from for Star Wars, because this was written a lot earlier. We've had a young lady with us for the last about 8 weeks, another student teacher by the name of Miss Suzanne Hughes. She's been a tremendous help with us, another woodwind specialist, which has been a great help to us as well. But her bringing me puzzles in the morning to keep me sane, but also helping a great deal with our students. And we'd like to invite her to conduct a wind ensemble in the next piece, which is entitled With Quiet Courage. We'd like to dedicate this to all the mothers with Mother's Day coming up. Larry Dane wrote this for his mother, and you can read the poem about it. But my little imagery at the end, if you imagine the first time your child went off to school and waved at you from the bus, that'll give you a good idea of what he was trying to portray at the end of the piece. We'd like to present and thank Miss Suzanne Hughes. that our wind ensemble would like to present tonight is called Homage, Three Tapestries, and although it's explained in your program notes, I wanted to set a little bit forward. This is a piece usually performed by college wind ensembles. I first heard it played by the Rutgers University Wind Ensemble under the conductor, who's this little short guy who just runs around all the time and has all this hair, and that's the only difference. Named David Holtzinger. David Holtzinger is a world-famous composer and wrote this piece to challenge what he felt were even the most advanced college wind ensembles. I gave it to these guys because, well, you can see. Thank you very much. If you would please give us 10 minutes, as is our custom, we like to always close our concert with all our students playing together and even with some special guests at the end. We promise to be back in 10 minutes. If you'd like to stand up, stretch your legs, and we'll be back with our symphonic band. Thank you. Thank you again for your patience, and thank you again to the students. I always like to say that publicly, but for the willingness to move and follow directions so we can keep this as organized as possible. Imagine the amount of fun that I'm about to have. Imagine getting together with 140 people that you like who happen to like the same thing that you do. One of the reasons we always like ending with our full band is, although our students succeed as individuals and even as small groups, the greatest successes come when they're all together working on the same idea. And we've taken you a lot of places tonight. We'd like to take you with our symphonic band to the Western Frontier in a piece entitled Frontier that was originally supposed to be used as the soundtrack to a Western movie that was never produced, and then it was turned into a concert band piece. Here is Frontier. a slightly different side of this group. This piece is entitled Rosamedre, and it's will be conducted by Mr. Robert Vogel. Come back and still be interested in what they're doing. Tonight, this piece holds a little bit extra meaning for me and I believe for the band as well. Tony Sama, who was our band president, graduated a couple of years ago, just graduated from the United States Naval Academy. He is now an officer in the Marine Infantry, stationed out of California, and will be shipping off to Iraq probably within the next 6 to 12 months. He, of course, could not be with us tonight because of that, but we'd like to give just a little extra special dedication for our alumni, but especially this one for Tony. Good luck, and we hope everything works out great. Afterwards, please join us for some refreshment, talk to our musicians. Thank you very much for all your support this evening.
Thank you.